Boys, boys, boys and girls. Look, if the universe is trying to tell you something, best you listen to her, because she knows best. Now, my PC got stolen out of the shop here not too long ago, and obviously on there was all my stuff for the previous layout on the previous video. And as I mentioned there then, I had a couple of problems with that layout in the sense that I love to do scenery, and it didn't really provide for lots of buildings and stuff. It was more just running. Okay. And then also I ordered a train from Andrew, which is on a 32mm track, 1:24 scale, on 32mm track, representing our own narrow gauge 2-foot lines. So Andrew's building me a NGG 16. Now, when everything was obviously on that PC and when it got stolen, I lost almost all of it. But I sat down, redid the layout, and this is what I came up with. Okay. Now, the nice thing about this one is that that I can do way more scenery over here. Look, the whole thing is going to be industrial. That's the plan. Even if it's 300 square meters, this layout, 34 meters by 8 meters. Well, 34.5 by 8.6 or whatever. It only represents like just over a kilometer in real life. You gotta factor that in the grand scheme of things. So instead of me building 2 towns and like use my imagination that, oh, it's running from the one to the other, I would rather go and do a yard. But me being me, I like sitting, having a brandy. Over here, my control will be here. And just watch trains running. That has to be done. Okay, so you can run here the whole day. I can even switch directions on these loops here. And have a rather simple playability. If we want to shunt, I downloaded the train simulator on this thing last night, and I actually shunted some wagons. It took me best part of an hour, hour and a half to shunt it in. So you can play if you want to. If you're a couple of guys here, you can actually do very nice operations here. Okay. The previous layout also never catered for the 2-foot gauge. Now this one does. Now let me see if I can do... Yeah, there we go. Now this is the 2-foot gauge. So it runs the full layout, but instead of me going up and trying to squash it in above the already designed layout, the previous one, this one I actually dropped it down under the layout so it can run the full length of the room at the back there. And it will only be visible on this bottom bit here, and it will be visible here, operations here and operations there. With the idea being that I'm doing a sawmill here, and I'm doing a cattle loading ramp this side. And the main thing is that you can actually take the loco out and pass and hook up again and go out and turn it around that way, because the NGG 16 can run either way. I am getting an NGG 15 from Carl later that can do, I'll do a little passenger consist for it, and that can just do the loop. I'm still in 2 minds of how I'm going to open up here where you can actually see it, because I hate the train on bends. I'm not specifically fond of bends in the railway. Trains always look like awkward on it. But this being 3.9 meter radius, I don't think it will be that nasty in the smaller scale. On the large track, the 45mm track, the 1:24 scale stuff we're running now, the big locos, I'm going to hide, this stuff here. and maybe just do like lattice work or whatever, so you can just see it running underneath the factories. This is all going to be factories here. Now, the 45 mil, the big track, is this one. All right. Now, if we go 3D, I can show you. It's the same as with the previous one. We need to be able to get in here and walk around the layout so we can see what is going on. Now, all right, this will be the front. So when you walk in, this is what you will see. Here will be the hatch where we walk in. Those will be doors that just stand open most of the time, as on the previous one, because we're only going to use these, that one there and this one here, if we want to turn around. So most of the time those will stand open. Now you can see the two sidings here and how much space I gave it here to do scenery, and the same that side. So you see that's quite a big space here as well. Look, I want to try and concentrate on the wagons that I built. So the cattle wagons here, a little sawmill that side. Here in the middle, this one, a big grain silo here, and some grain wagons here. And then this side we will do as part of a cement factory, you know, and a couple of conveyor belts and stuff like that. Now on the corners, I just told you that I want to head most of the bench here. So I'm going to build a big steel works here. Look, it's 8.5 meters over. So it's not hell of a big in this scale, but you will still get some pretty nice stuff in without interfering here with the walkways, obviously. But you can go right around here and maybe incorporate whatever is standing here onto those tracks there. I'm going to have 4 steam engines. So this side here, I want to do a little setup that will feed, you know, coal, water, sand. And this side, I want to do the diesels, yeah. You know, sand, diesel, you know. And the nice thing with them being here is if you do want to feed these and you've got a long consist, you can actually take stuff out here, go park. Take stuff out there, go park. You know, or pull it over and park this side and build your consist. Have a look here, hook the whole lot up and go out. I did it last night. It works well. It would have been nice if there were turnouts in between here on 1 or 2 places so I can change lanes, but it gets expensive. The turnouts are very, very expensive. So I'll see maybe later what I can do there. Now, to show you the nasty bit. If I do this, and I go to the top there, and I go to view, okay, no, tools, length of selection. It's 409 meters of track, which makes it 13 kilometers in real life. But yeah, it's 410 meters of track, which is a hell of a lot of track. I've got here at the moment 330 meters, so I'm going to need another 100 meters or so, and I'm short 11 turnouts. Because as SCOM is a lovely system, so you can also go to the top there and go parts list, all parts in the project, and it will give you this. So there you can see I need 21 left-hand points, 19 right-hand points, and then the rest is 8.0 gauge. Those I've got. Here I have 30. I have 30 in total, so that's what, 40, no? So I need 10 more points. Not too long from now, I will speak to the guys at Lahas Creek and see what we can do. You know, if we can maybe, I've got an order with them for 24 points. But yes, that's the plan so far. So I don't know, you guys must tell me what you think. And, you know, what we can do here else. You now know what I want to do, and you can see that I've made provision here for lots of scenery. You know, if you take this piece here where I want to do a factory, you take the measuring tape and you go from there to the track. It's 1.7 meters, and that bit there is over a meter, so that's already a biggish building. And you do a couple of offices here. This side you can also do another, like a large, with a loading ramp attached to it, which is 2.2 meters, and goes down safely, also 2 meters. So, you know, these are 4 square meter buildings. They're big bastards. That'll keep me busy for a while. I want to do the grain silo this side with a couple of add-on buildings and parkings and roads. The other nice thing with this is you can do the road now that it looks like it's going off the layout, you know, normal sand dirt roads, and feed a road. And you can put trucks down here. Each one of these islands, you can now make a little diorama by itself. And the nice thing with this is if I do it modular, I can run trains and carry on as per usual, or I can still be busy with these. You know, if I have time, then I can start building a building. I can start producing stuff because I'm itching. I'm really, really itching. And yeah, you will also see that in contrast with the old one, I actually split the station in two. This station here being mainly for the outside track, and this one here mainly for the inside track, with a couple of extra parkings here. There's a lot less parking here as opposed to the old one, but then on the old one I could get like easily 300 wagons in there. Where in my life are we going to build 300 wagons? You know, that's a lot of wagons. Whereas here I'll probably be able to do 200, which will take me a while. But even if the guys are here, you know, between a lot of us to get to 200 wagons, I mean, transport-wise, is going to be difficult. So I think the layout's big enough to give us a good weekend of running. You know, a couple of nice consists, nice long consists. I mean, the tracks at the top here from there to there on the main line is 23 meters on the longest one. Your shortest one here is, there's the other main line, is that one there. Your shortest parking here is over 21 and a half meters. And you get into 1.8 meters, you get 4 wagons into 1.8 meters. So you will park a couple of big consists. You know, I've got there 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that you can park in, and then the main line. And then this side on the inner track, I've got 1, 2 that you can park in. These here are shorter, obviously, because I had a lot of stuff going on here. The shortest one here is the feeder line, was 10, 11 meters. But I mean, you can park here, you can park 14 meters. That's main line, that's main line. This one here, 12 meters. So with locos in front, you probably got something like a good 20, 22 wagons and 3 locos in front is quite doable in there. So I think that will work. All right, and then obviously we're going to have the hatch here just to get in here. This also makes it more cozy because you're going to be able to walk in between the scenery now, which is something that I saw on YouTube and one of the other big oaks on one of his layouts. It's nice and cozy. You interact more with the layout when you're in here and you're in between the buildings and stuff. So I think that will be really, really cool. And if you look at the 3D again, you will see that I made the narrow gauge here. There's the narrow gauge there. It's running at 900 and this is running at 1.2 meters. So that's 900 off the ground. That's 1.2. It's 300 below it. Which is ample for nice scenery here. You know, you can even do a bridge and a thing here and there where a road goes through or whatever, and you can feed to, you know, say come up from here with a road and feed to some of the factories there, or looks like it's feeding, you know, that type of idea. But I'm fairly happy with this. You can see there. I think it will be very nice. And look, the buildings are going to be 1.2 meters high. They're going to be big bastards. I mean, a grain silo is not a small. It's not a small building. So I want to get them as close to scale as possible. So there will be a lot of stuff going on here. And if you do then walk around here and look at stuff, you'll be able to see more detail because you can actually be inside there right next to it, as opposed to just standing here and looking at stuff right over there at the back. Yes. And that's basically my story, guys. So I think the universe did me a favor here. All right. Okay, dudes, I'm going to go build a wagon. Then I will speak to you guys later. Keep well. Have a hell of a nice weekend, or what's left of it. Thanks for the extra subscriptions. I think we've got 3 or 4 more, so we're pushing 905, I think it was this morning. Thanks some more, guys. Okay, we'll speak later. Goed, tot ziens.